FP&A is about connecting the dots. It's all about communication and analytics skills or analytical skills. So for the people who are starting their careers in FP&A, how can they develop themselves?
Global certificates is important, but it's not everything. So what I can tell people is, first of all, assess yourself, make like a simple SWOT analysis of your skills and the market needs and the job requirements, and then see.
The new trend FP&A is about like the budget and forecasting. In budget and forecasting is about like scenario planning, and we are planning more than one scenario for each budget. Now we are going to go to the annual budget. We need to learn from your experience. How do you plan the annual budget?
So for the FP&A, I can divide the skills into two types: soft skills and technical skills.
What is exactly the financial planning analysis, and what is the scope of work? So what is the FP&A, and is it different from financial planning and analysis?
The person has to manage also non-financial data. So the role is extended. So from planning perspective, the FP&A is responsible to manage the whole planning aspects.
So going from the annual budget to the zero-based budgeting, is it applicable all time? And what is the zero-based budgeting? Welcome to the new episode of Hofta Academy podcast. Today we have a very, very special guest, one of the global FP&A champions. Today we have with us Dr. Mohamed ElRouby. Dr. Mohamed, welcome, Dr. Mohamed.
Thank you very much, Hazim, for inviting me for today. I'm sure it will be very interesting discussion.
Dr. Mohamed, can you give us a brief about yourself, your career journey? And I noticed that you received multiple global awards and certifications, so we are excited to know more about that.
Yeah, thank you, Hazim. I'm Mohamed ElRouby. I'm a global finance and strategy leader and also FP&A expert. I have more than 22 years of experience in global multinational companies. I worked in different industries and different regions. Actually, I started my career as a financial analyst in Nissan Motor, which is one of the global car manufacturing company. Then I moved to the pharmaceutical industry, which is the industry that I spent most of my career. So I moved to Johnson & Johnson as a senior financial analyst, and then I got the promotion as a financial controller for Egypt and Libya. After that, I moved to Novartis as a head of FP&A, managing more than 40 markets across Middle East and Africa. Then I moved to Energizer, one of the global FMCG organizations, as a business finance head. And it was my real journey of transforming the finance function to be a true business partner. After that, I got a promotion and I moved to Dubai to handle Middle East and Africa. Then I moved back to my pharmaceutical industry, my favorite industry, as a head of FP&A for Middle East, Africa, and India at Allergan Pharmaceuticals. Then I moved to Takeda as a head of FP&A for Middle East, and currently I'm a global commercial finance head, managing more than 140 countries, managing all aspects of commercial finance and FP&A from revenue and profitability aspects.
Okay. It seems that you have an impressive journey in the pharmaceutical industry. So first of all, we need to know what is exactly the financial planning analysis and what is the scope of work?
That's a very good question. Let me explain to people what is FP&A. FP&A is a function that managing all aspects related to financial planning, financial analysis, decision support, management reporting, digital transformation projects, in addition to working as a true business partner with all the functions. So I believe FP&A is a function that is connecting the dots. The only function that's connecting all the dots across all functions, the function that speaks with supply chain, with IT, with sales, with marketing, with all the other functions, is the FP&A. During the budgeting process, FP&A has to speak with all functions, right? During the management reporting and performance reporting, also FP&A has to speak with all functions. So FP&A is a function that I believe is the heart of the organization. What are the key areas that FP&A should focus on, or the key scope of the FP&A? Number one, financial planning. It comes in even easily from the job title, FP&A. So FP&A means financial planning and analysis. So number one, financial planning. So FP&A is the person who is managing all types of financial planning, starting from the long-range plans, followed by the annual budgets, quarter forecast and rolling forecast in some companies. In addition to that, also different types also of short-term, forecast and estimates, like latest estimate, month-end landing, different types of forecasting and estimates. Number 2 is management reporting. FP&A is a function that is managing all types of management reporting, including the monthly management reporting package, including the quarterly packages, including different types of management reports. Number 3, financial analysis. FP&A is responsible to analyze the performance for the business across all functions. They have to analyze, the sales performance, OPEX performance, net working capital performance, marketing performance. So they have to manage all types of analysis and business analysis. Number 4 is decision support and working as a true finance business partner. So the FP&A is a function that support decision making, working closely with all functions, supporting them to make the right decisions, providing them with a true business insights. This is something very, very important and crucial to the role of the FP&A is to support all decision-making aspects across all functions.
Yes.
Last but not least, project management. FP&A is a function that leading different projects. FP&A can lead commercial projects like how can we improve our top line, how can we improve our profitability, how can we improve different aspects related to the organizational performance.
Okay.
In addition to that, they sometimes also they have to lead digital projects like automation projects, implementing EPM system, CPM system, AI. So FP&A also has to lead different projects related to digital transformation and automation.
Okay, great. So we heard you before talking about the XP&A. So what is the XP&A and is it different from financial planning and analysis?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Hazim, because there is a difference between FP&A and XP&A. Okay, FP&A is a traditional function that I was talking about, which is a function that managing all the financial planning and analysis and reporting, right?
Yes.
Which is, in a nutshell, the function that is dealing with the financial data.
Okay.
XP&A is called XP&A, means extended planning and analysis.
Okay.
What does it mean by extended? The role of the FP&A extended. Not just a person who is managing only financial data. No, the person has to manage also non-financial data. So the role is extended. So from planning perspective, the FP&A is responsible to manage the whole planning aspects, the whole entire organizational planning, which we sometimes call it corporate planning.
Yes.
So the FP&A has to manage the sales planning, strategic planning, operational planning, not only the financial planning. So the role extended to manage the whole entire planning function inside the organizations. Okay. Number 2, from analysis perspective, also the XP&A is responsible to manage and deal with financial data and non-financial data. So the role extended now. We have to analyze marketing data, competitors' data, data came from CRM, from different sources other than the financial source. So the role extended big time to manage everything related to the whole organization, not only the financial aspects.
Okay, so like the XP&A is the next generation financial planning analysis.
Yes, yeah, this is the next generation. And as you see, Hazim, that we are now talking about the big data and the big evolution, of dealing with big data. So FP&A now has to manage big data, financial and non-financial, not only the financial data.
Yes. Okay. So now we are talking about the XP&A and the FP&A. So what are the needed skills for XP&A, like the next generation financial planning and analysis professional? And what is the difference between these skills and the skills of FP&A, like the regular FP&A?
Yeah, let me start with the FP&A and then we can talk about what is the extended skills also needed for the XP&A. So for the FP&A, I can divide the skills into two types, soft skills and technical skills. Okay. From soft skills perspective, we have to talk about number 1, data storytelling. Data storytelling is one of the most important skills for the FP&A because FP&A is a person who has to tell what is the story behind the numbers. The person has to present, the financial and non-financial data to the executives or to the board of directors or to the management. So the person should have the ability to translate the business results, financial and non-financial, into a true business story that inspire people to take actions. Okay. Number 2, the second most important skill for the FP&A is the communication skills. How I communicate with people? How can I communicate with different functions? How can I communicate with financial and non-financial people? So I have to speak with the supply chain. I have to speak with IT. I have to speak with HR, and also I should have a high level of communication because I have to, simplify the financial data. I have
Yes.
to simplify our technical and terminologies
Okay.
into a very simple business language. So it needs a very high level of communication. And as I said, the function that is connecting the dots is the FP&A. So you have to communicate with all departments. So
Yes.
you should have a very high level of communication skills. Number 3, negotiation skills. As an FP&A, you have to negotiate the budget numbers with all departments. You have to negotiate different things. We have to negotiate pricing with, our partners or our distributors or whatever. So negotiation skills also is very important for the FP&A. Number 4, which is also very important, is we call it the strategic thinking or looking forward views. So the FP&A also should have a strategic thinking and also should have a looking forward views. This is also one of the skills that FP&A should develop.
Yes.
Also, last but not least, which is a very, very important skills, which is called coaching skills.
Okay.
I believe FP&A shouldn't work like a policeman, just asking each department, you exceeded the budget, why you have drop of sales, like working as a policeman. No.
Yes.
FP&A should be a person like a coach inside organization, asking people the right questions to get the right business insights.
Okay.
So coaching skills also is very important for the FP&A. Now we talked about soft skills. Let's move to the technical skills.
Okay. Yes.
From technical skills perspective, number 1, FP&A should first of all understand financial and managerial accounting. Sometimes people told me, no, FP&A should only, managing the budgeting and the planning. Why the FP&A should understand accounting? No, because you have to understand the basics of the accounting, right? How can you build the model and you don't understand the connections and the relationships between the financial statements, right? How can you build a business case or a financial model or a budgeting even, and you don't know the structure of the income statement of the balance sheet and what does it mean by accrual, what does it mean by edging or accounts receivable. So you have to understand at least the basics of accounting. I'm not saying FP&A should understand everything related to the IFRS or US GAAP or whatever, but at least understand the conceptual framework of the accounting and understanding the relationships between the financial statements. Number 2 is budgeting and planning and forecasting. For sure, any FP&A should know how to build budgeting, how to build forecasting, how should I use different techniques in forecasting, how should I use quantitative forecast and qualitative forecast and quantitative forecast. This is something also very important. Number 3, financial analysis. This is also the skills how to use, how to analyze my numbers, how to analyze data, which is also taking us to another important skills, which is data analytics. So FP&A also should leverage data analytics to answer 4 questions: what happened, why that happened, what will happen, and how can we get it happen, right? So data analytics is one of the critical skill also for the FP&A. The last but not least, digital acumen or technology savvy, because this is became crucial now to the role of the FP&A. Without knowing technology, without knowing how to use AI, how to use APM system, how to use RPA, how to use analytics, we cannot, now deal with this big,
amount
data,
of data,
this amount of data, and definitely would be very, very difficult. So now technology savvy became a must, to have skill for the FP&A. If you are talking about XP&A,
yes,
this is also like the extended role of the FP&A. So on the top of that, FP&A should deal with, should improve and advance the analytics skills, because now we are talking about XP&A should deal with financial and non-financial data. So analytics, if the FP&A should know the basics of analytics, XP&A should know the advanced level of the analytics, because you have to deal with complex data, different data. So this is something very important. Number 2, integrated planning. When we talk about XP&A is a person who has to manage operational planning, strategic planning, and financial planning. So the skills of understanding the full integrated planning process, how to connect the operational planning with the strategic planning, with the operational planning, with the financial planning. This is something very, very important for the XP&A.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dr. Muhammad, FP&A is about connecting the dots, and it's all about communication and analytics skills or analytical skills. So for the people who are starting their careers in FP&A, how can they develop themselves?
Yeah, this is very important question, Hazim, and I receive this question. We can say
Yes, yes.
on daily basis. You know, people will always ask me, how can I improve myself? Which certificate should I, get to, develop my career in the FP&A? First of all, I would like to tell people something very important. Global certificates or the accounting, certificates like CPA or CMA or CFA or these types of certificates, it's very important and good to have, definitely, but it's not must to have for everything, right?
Okay.
Sometimes people ask me, what is the global certificates to improve my communication skills? What is the global certificates to improve my financial model?
Mm.
It's not necessary to take a global well recognized certificates to improve certain skills.
Okay.
It's not needed for everything, right? So global certificates is important, but it's not everything. So what I can tell people is, first of all, assess yourself, make like a simple SWOT analysis of your skills and the market needs and the job requirements, and then see, maybe I need only to develop my financial modeling, so I can take a professional program or professional course in financial modeling.
Okay.
No need to take a global certificate and I became a global certified financial model. It's no need for that.
Yes.
If the short course can give me what I need, that's fine, right? Number two, in addition to the professional programs, so I can take professional program in presentation skills, in financial modeling, in advanced Excel, in Power BI, whatever. That's fine, right? Another types of development, which is called executive education.
Okay.
This another type also, which is education that give us a practical knowledge, a practical experience. Usually, executive education usually provided by the people who have industry experience,
Okay.
and it includes a lot of case studies and practical case studies. So I believe executive education is very important for people, especially the people who want to know get the practical knowledge and to know what they have to do when they go to their office tomorrow, right?
Okay.
So executive education is very practical, and I believe there are many good provider of it. One of them is Hoft Academy, for example. They are providing international certificate in financial planning and analysis, and it's very practical program covering different aspects of financial planning, including finance, business partnering, budgeting, planning, forecasting, financial modeling, data analytics, generative AI. So it's very practical and comprehensive programs. The third types of education, which is the global certificates by the accounting bodies, like one of the famous certificate is the FPAC, Certified Financial Planning and Analysis from the AFP Association of Financial Professionals. This is a very good and very strong professional certificate in the FP&A. Also CMA for sure, one by the IMA, which is one also very good certificate for FP&A, but it covers mainly the areas related to budgeting, planning, cost analysis, but it didn't cover everything related to FP&A, same as FPAC.
Okay.
But it's very good and very helpful to the people who want to develop their FP&A certificates. So this is in a nutshell what people can do. So professional programs. Number two, executive education. And number three, also the global certifications.
Okay. Okay. Great. So now we are going to ask you about like a crucial thing in FP&A. Is the budgeting and forecasting techniques now changed versus before?
Yeah, that's a good question, Hazim. The budgeting and the planning techniques has been changed, especially since that AI and
Yes.
many other new technologies enter to the FP&A industry. So I can say yes, the budgeting and the planning process has been changed. One of the key changes happen is moving from just having an annual budget to have something like rolling forecast, and something like rolling forecast, it's needed to be run through an advanced system, right? Because rolling forecast means that we have to update our budget on monthly basis, and I should have at least 12 months ahead or 18 months ahead or sometimes 24 months ahead. So I have to make it very dynamic, and I have to update my forecasting on a regular basis. So I need system, right? Because if the process is manual, how can I run this long process, manual process every month? It will be definitely something very difficult, right? Number two, also one of the techniques of the budgeting which is called scenario planning. Now the management, don't want to, usually the management people don't want to see only one scenario. You cannot tell them, after I finish my exercise of the budgeting, this is your number, or this is what we get as a numbers.
Okay.
Usually management want to see different scenarios, right? What will happen if we invested more? What will happen if we had a new competitor? What will happen if the economy going down? What will happen if the economy is growing very well? What will happen if the exchange rate changed from X amount to X amount or whatever, right? So the management want to see different scenarios. Again, to run different scenarios and with different risks level or different opportunities level or different drivers, we need a good system, right? To run for us different scenarios and in an agile way and in a more efficient way. So we leverage usually AI and also CPM system or APM system to run this kind of analysis. So again, this is new trends in the budgeting and forecasting, which is called scenario planning. Also another techniques which is called driver-based planning. So driver-based planning, when I see what are the key drivers of my business for each area in my business, and run different also scenarios and focus during my planning on the key things that are driving really my business or driving my revenue or driving my cost or whatever. Not just taking everything in my budget and just inflated by 5% or 10% or whatever. So these types of planning and forecasting helped us to support the management with more insightful scenarios, with more insightful business and understanding and business dynamics, which also helps the management to take better decisions, more accurate decisions. But it needs for sure two things: skills from the FP&A team to run those different scenarios. At the same time, also it needs technology.
Okay, so the new trends in FP&A is about like the budget and forecasting. In budget and forecasting is about like scenario planning, and we are planning more than one scenario for each budget, and to forecast more than one scenario for each budget. So now we are going to go to the annual budget. So we need to know, we need to learn from your experience. How do you plan the annual budget? And and we need to know like some insights from you about the annual budget.
Yeah, thank you, Hazim. Actually, annual budget, I see it like a project.
Okay.
Annual budget is not just a small exercise. Annual budget is a project, right? It needs a time frame, it needs a scope, it needs a very good communication. Same as any project you have to manage. It needs a tracking, it needs same as any project management everyone has to manage. So the annual budget usually start with the understanding the full picture first, right? Because it's not only about just open your Excel files or open your system and let's put the assumption and definitely it's not like that. I have to understand first the overall environment, external factors. What is happening in my country, my market? So I have to understand very well the external factors, because external factors has definitely an impact on my business, right? So if the economy is growing, definitely it has impact, right? If the country has political instability, it will impact my business, right? So I have to analyze my external factors first. Number two, I have to understand my markets.
Okay.
Do I, there is a very common model which is called Porter's five forces, right?
Yes.
So I have to understand the competition, the any expectation of new threats or new entrants to the market. So I have to understand the power of suppliers, power of customers, all of that stuff. So which is about understanding my market. Then I have to look at my company. What is our strategic planning? What's our strategic goals? What's our strategy? Everything related to our long-term expectations. Based on that, I have to see what should I achieve this year to help my company to achieve its long-term goals or long-term strategic goals or long-term strategy, right? So based on that, I have to look at my operational
Yes.
stuff. Then I should start with my sales numbers or revenue numbers, because budget from operational perspective start with the revenue. Because based on revenue, you have to based on the revenue can determine what should be my cost of goods sold and OPEX and how much marketing spend I have to spend at that time. Another important part before even start the normal budgeting process, sales budget and operational budget, OPEX budget, all of that stuff, I have to build something very important which is called the budget manual.
Okay.
Before you start your budgeting process at all, you have to build the budget manual. What is the budget manual? Is a big full document, including everything about the budgeting. Okay, starting from what are the assumptions, what are the guidelines that I have to send to the departments, what is the scope of the budget, what is the budget calendar, who should do what and when. Okay, this is something very important. I have to determine during the budget manual and in the budget calendar which department should send what to whom. So I can say, for example, sales department should send the sales volume to the manufacturing department on July 20th.
Okay.
HR department should send the headcount or personal cost to the FP&A on August 13th. Okay. So I should have a budget calendar. Also in the budget calendar, I should have all the cost centers, all the GLs that people should use. So I give them guidelines about every account and every cost centers they have to use. Also in the budget manual, also I have to give them the other assumptions, like what should be the exchange rate, what is the expected inflation for each market, what is the expected merit increase for each department or for each function or for each country, right? So budget manual give people full clarity about every step in the budget, which templates they have to use, which functions, what is the scope, everything about the budgeting things. So once I communicate the budget manual or and the budget calendar to departments, I have to start the budget, as I said, from the sales budget. Based on the sales budget, we can definitely determine the other aspects like cost of goods sold, the freight, and all of that stuff. OPEX, again, is another important part, which is all the expenses I have to get from all departments. And at the end, once I get all the data, all the insights, challenging everyone during the budget number, getting what we need. And as we talked about scenario planning, also I can run different scenarios to see, different levels of revenue and different levels of profitability and EBITDA and whatever. And once we are fine and signed off the P&L, we can also calculate the other financial statements or projected financial statements like balance sheet and cash flow. And as usual, once we present the budget to the management, sometimes get back with some changes, some additional expectations, some tasks, some whatever. So we have to have kind of negotiations with different departments with the management. But once we sign off until we sign off the budget.
Okay, great. That's impressive. So going from the annual budget to the zero-based budgeting, is it applicable all time? And what is the zero-based budgeting?
Yeah, zero-based budgeting is one of the good techniques and very powerful techniques, especially if you see your OPEX level or your expense level is inflated, okay? Or if the company wants to achieve, a cost reduction or cost optimization, because this is very important for that. So zero-based budgeting is like a clean sheet, okay? Forget about what you spend in the last year or in the history and focus on what should I spend in the next year. Okay. And build it from scratch. Every single line in the budget should be explained, and everyone we have to challenge every single line in the zero-based budgeting. Every line people should explain why they need this number, for which purpose, for which activity, what's the ROI for it, is it aligned with the strategy or not. So every single US dollar in the budget should be explained, defendable, has a meaning, had a real and strong ROI, real objectives, aligned with the strategy or not. So no one just put any numbers. Just numbers. Okay. Or I spent last year 10,000, let's make it 120. No. Zero-based budgeting is every single number should be justified, explained, and has a clear objectives and a clear ROI. This is number one. Number two, zero-based budgeting is not necessary to be done every year. Okay. To be definitely, because zero-based budgeting in general is a complex exercise, right? Because you have to justify every single line in your expenses and in
Yes.
your numbers, right? Because it's a very very comprehensive exercise. Everything should be explained. So it's a long exercise. So usually companies usually run that exercise every 2 years, every 3 years. It depends, you know.
Okay.
Also, we can make it only for specific lines. No need to make it for every single line in my OPEX. So I can make it for the marketing expenses, travel and entertainment. These expenses are very dynamics.
Yes.
So it sometimes needs more clear justification, more clear, objective. So
Okay.
you can run it every 2 or 3 years to rebase your budget or true up your base. At the same time, you can also make it maybe also every year, but for specific accounts, not for
Okay.
everything. Yeah.
Okay, great. So going from the annual budgeting and the zero-based budgeting to the technology. So what are the technologies needed for a successful FP&A function?
Yeah, definitely technology is something, it's a big topic.
Yes.
Definitely. FP&A needs different tools to achieve the objective, which is providing an actionable business insight and foresight. So I believe we have different types of technologies needed for the FP&A. Number one, we need for sure ARP system, right?
Yes.
To get the actual data to answer the question of what happened, right? I need to know what's my actual, which department, which function, whatever. I need ERP. Then to answer the question of why is that happening? So I need to analyze my data, right? I need to organize my data and compare actual versus budget, understanding trends, understanding the ratios, understanding and dig more and more into numbers. So I need BI system, right, to analyze my data, organize my data, and to run different reports and analysis. So I need BI system. Then for prediction, I need either to have a statistical system or it depends. If I need something very simple, I can use Excel or whatever to make some projections or regression analysis or whatever. But if I need something more advanced, I will need to get a statistical systems.
Okay.
Last but not least, I need something for prescriptive analytics, right? To run different scenarios with different risks aspect on different assumptions.
Okay.
So in this case, I need definitely AI or machine learning to run different scenarios or different scenario planning and scenario analysis.
Okay.
There is one important system that combine all of them except ERP, which is called EPM system or CPM system.
Yes.
So EPM system or CPM system are one of the most important systems for the FP&A, especially if you are running a big business, if you are managing a big business, big data, you cannot run everything through Excel or spreadsheets, right?
Yes.
So we need something to consolidate the data for you, build the full budgeting and the planning process in a full automated process using APM and CPM system. APM and CPM system also will manage the full budgeting and the planning, as I said, and also it will manage for you full management reporting and performance reporting as well. So to comparing actual versus budget versus forecast, running different, reports and full analysis, fully automated through APM and CPM system. In your budgeting and the planning, the CPM and the APM system give you full governance. So during the budgeting process, you will know who did what and when. So no one just can adjust numbers in the budget or whatever without any governance. Also, it will help you to make your budgeting and planning process very efficient and very agile because you automate everything. There is no human errors. There is no time consumed in data consolidation. And as you know that there are a lot of errors, when people using Excel files or, using the manual data. Also, the new generations of the CPM system and the APM systems now includes AI features, and so you can run different scenario planning, scenario analysis using the CPM and the APM system. So I see APM and CPM system help you to manage 3 steps in your data analytics process. So it can help you to answer why that happened for the diagnosis analysis. It can help you also to predict using the features of predictions. And also it can help you to run different scenario planning and scenario analysis. So it's very, very powerful tools for the FP&A.
Okay, great. So now we are going to ask you like a very, very crucial question and terrifying question for many people. How can AI help people in like financial and planning functions? And is AI will replace people?
Yeah. we always receive this question,
Yes.
Hazm, right? Do you think do you think AI will replace people or not?
Mm.
The answer is very simple. AI will not replace people,
Okay.
but people who use AI will replace the people who don't use AI.
Mm.
This is the simple answer.
Okay.
How AI can help FP&A? Definitely, AI can help FP&A in different areas and many areas. One of them is automating the budgeting and the planning process. To help people to run different scenario planning, scenario analysis. So AI is a big help also in running different scenarios and different planning and analysis.
Mm.
AI also can help also in risk management and running different scenarios of risks also. So it definitely is very, very powerful and helpful to the FP&A functions.
Okay. So like the simple answer of this question is the AI will not replace people, but the people who use AI will replace people who who don't use AI.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So now, we need an advice from you for the financial planning and analysis professional. So, what is your advice for the financial planning and analysis professional, and for the people who are starting their career in FP&A?
Yeah. I have only 3 important tips for everyone starting the FP&A career.
Okay.
Number 1, don't forget to develop your soft skills. I made this mistake at the beginning of my career.
Okay.
I was focusing on the technical skills, financial modeling, and I have to get professional certificates like CMA or FPAC or whatever. But believe me, soft skills is very important for the FP&A people. So as we talked about data storytelling, negotiation skills, presentation skills, all of these skills is needed for the FP&A. So please, when you start your career, make the balance between soft skills and
technical
skills. The second advice, which is also crucial for the role of the FP&A, is business acumen. We cannot influence people and we cannot asking people the right questions without understanding our business. Understanding your business is your admission ticket to attend any decision-making table, right?
Okay.
Without business acumen, you cannot you cannot provide business insights. You cannot understand what is behind numbers. You cannot ask the right question. Definitely, business acumen is very important. So when you join any company, your first priority after building relationships is business acumen. Last but not least, technology. Now, technology became a must-to-have skills. So I'm not asking you to be a programmer or a developer, but you have to understand how to use technology, how to leverage technology. When should I use AI? When should I use RPA? When should I use APM? When should I use ERP or whatever? So technology is very important for FP&A, and leveraging technology will help you to work more agile, more efficient, and will definitely keep you up to date with the speed.
Okay, great. So, business acumen is the key. Is the key to everything in the business. You have to understand your business on a very, very good basis to be able to understand the number behind the business, to understand the scenarios, if what happened we can do it, and all of that. Okay. And now we have reached the end of our episode. So it was a great pleasure to have you with us today, Dr. Mohammed, and a great honor to be with you. As we know that you are one of the top global 20 FP&A experts. So it was a really great honor to be with you today. So thank you, Dr. Mohammed, for sharing your knowledge and your experience with us. And we are looking forward to meet you soon.
Thank you very much, Hazim. It was my great pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed.